the hits just keep on coming for plaintiff's lawyer Steve Donziger, don't they? Now, Steve Donziger is the man who spearheaded the lawsuit against Chevron because he alleged that Chevron polluted in Ecuador. Now, if you know anything about this case, you know that's not true, starting with the fact that Chevron was never in Ecuador. Chevron purchased Texaco, which had a deal with the government of Ecuador in the form of Petro-Ecuador, called it TexPet in '67, and it grew to a point where the government of Ecuador owned most of it to the tune of roughly 80% and collected most of the profits and did all the work to the point where in 1989, Texaco had done nothing. Then in 1992, they being Texaco, turned all of their oil production over to Texaco, and then Texaco was bought by Chevron in 2001. So, people who are not aware of this say it was Chevron. It wasn't. Then on top of all that, Texaco signed an agreement that they had completed all of their environmental remediation responsibilities. That was in 1998. And the government of Ecuador said, hey, you're done, son. You can go. Get out. Because at that point, during that era, and then it increased after Rafael Correa became president, Ecuador was in the habit of kicking out American companies and oil companies it didn't like Occidental Petroleum, for example, in 2007. But I digress. I say all of that to say this. Russell DeLeon, the creator of the poker website for parties, party gaming, put $23 million of his own money into Steven Donziger's effort to sue Chevron for allegedly polluting Ecuador. $23 million. That's right, $23 million. He even financed 60% of the cost of making the movie Crude. Well, after it was found last fall in court, in the New York federal court, that Steven Donziger was guilty of on federal racketeering charges, that after that revelation, Chevron sought to basically get Mr. DeLeon to stop putting his money into Donziger's pocket for this lawsuit, and they succeeded. He finally said, hey, look, I'm out of this. I'm done. If I had have known that all of these acts like bribery and threats of judges and falsification of data were done, I would never have put my money into this effort. And so he is out of it, and that, with that action, causes the removal of an enormous steel girder of support for the entire lawsuit. Let's see what happens next.